again. Happy New Year. Do you know what? Everyone's saying this same thing now, and I'm stopping short of saying it. Everyone's saying, like around these days, Happy New Year. Are we still saying that? Like, Happy New Year. There you go. I've said it. So I'm still saying it. So Happy New Year to all of my viewers, all of my loyal YouTube subscribers and fans. I see you popping up. I see you creeping up. We're climbing. We're getting somewhere. We're moving. Hope you're all good. I'm good. Everything's good at my end. I'll tell you what. This sport, right? Sometimes Sometimes you leave an event, or you leave like a moment in the sport, something happens where you think, oh God. But I'm on a real high right now, and that's because I was in Dublin 2 days ago to launch that show. Like, I hosted the press conference for the St Patrick's Day Spectacular that Queensberry are putting on March 14th, St Paddy's Day weekend, in Dublin, live on DAZN. So I hosted the press conference for it. Main event is Jazza Dickens against Anthony Cacace, first defence of Jazza's world title against Ireland's only ever world super featherweight champion. And it had got Pierce O'Leary against Mark Chamberlain, John O'Carroll against Cole Murphy, and just a collection of Irish stars. But why it's left me on such a high is that it was just such a good press conference. And maybe it's something with like Irish fighters. They just know how to chat. They've got good crack, like spelt C-R-A-I-C, I believe, not crack as in the stuff that you shouldn't be taking before fights. But they've got crack, most certainly. And like you see, like John O'Carroll, I asked him like one question, and he's just up there, and he's talking about his life, and talking about how, you know, people wrote him off. Look at Anthony Cacace here. People wrote him off. He's the world champion now. We're all old boys up here, but we're making something of ourselves. Loved it. Just really, really good moments. And that main event fight, that Jazza Dickens, Anto Cacace, they will not say a bad word about each other. But it's like it doesn't really matter. It was such a good presser in that there was no beef between any of the fighters, but still everyone went away from it feeling like, yeah, that was good. There was amusing moments and stuff. So, yeah, ultimately what I'm saying is I left that presser thinking, this is great. I love this sport. So it really, not that my passion for the sport needed reigniting, but it really like sent it up there. So really enjoyed doing that and speaking to all the guys. And first time I've ever met Jazza Dickens. I can't believe it was the first time. I actually speaking to him, I said, yeah, this is it. And he was like, yeah, I can't believe it either. But he's great. So the interview that I've done with him is now on the Queensberry YouTube channel. I implore you to all go and check it out. And it's weird, like with these fighters, the ones that I do know and the ones that I don't know, I like throw myself into like researching them and finding out their story. So even though it was the first time I'd met Jazza, I just felt like I already knew him, and it was kind of like a catch up between old pals. Is the interview? I mean, Jazza Dickens, it's incredible. Just look at his career. He's had his nose broke, he's had his jaw broke, he's been broke, but his heart and his will, that has never broke, and he never gave up on his dreams, and he's become a world champion. I'm so happy for him. Speaking to him, some of what he's overcome, knowing his story, like it's a remarkable feat, and he's going in against someone in Anthony Cacace who has had plenty of his own adversity as well. And it's just a brilliant fight. I don't know who's going to win this one because they are both on red hot form. Cacace's form of Cordina, Warrington, Wood, and now going into Jazza Dickens. This is high level stuff, and I'm on this video. I'm going to break down who I think my top 5 pound for pound in the UK are right now, and Cacace, like he's got to be right up there. So brilliant fight, brilliant to get around them, and yeah, that was me earlier on this week in Dublin. Loved it. Okay, well, the other thing that's happened recently, within the last week or 10 days, was Agit Kabayel in Germany, and what a roaring success story for Queensberry in terms of they've gone over to a German market and just, I mean, they've just absolutely dominated, haven't they? They've sold the place out, absolutely smashed it. Kabayel absolutely smashed it. This guy's a massive, massive superstar. And him against Usyk, somewhere, Germany, probably, in a football stadium, probably, in front of 50, 60,000 people, probably, just feels like a really, like an obvious fight to make. He is the mandatory with the WBC for Oleksandr Usyk. So I wonder, because the thing with Agit Kabayel has always been that, you know, he's a good fighter, but he's been largely under the radar and really under promoted up until the last couple of years. He had that win over Derek Chisora, and then you didn't see him, I didn't see him. You'd have to really dig around to find what Agit Kabayel's up to. He had the win over Derek Chisora, and essentially he disappeared. It was Riyadh's season that brought him back, and that collection of 3 fights, and you know, stopping Frank Sanchez, stopping Big Bang Zhang, and stopping Makhmudov. Makhmudov being the first one. Remember Makhmudov going in there? He would have been favourite to win. I remember hosting the presser for it, and Makhmudov, a terrifying looking fella. He had all the reputation going in. He had been twitching away all week. He twitched like in the fight as well. Like I know, can you be scared of a twitch? I was. I got scared when I looked at him. He's a lovely fella though. When you speak to him, lovely fella. He just sort of does all of that like a Terminator sort of thing. So I just thought, if Kabayel hits him like a few times, that's all well and good, but he's not going to hurt him because Makhmudov will probably twitch and then come back and probably knock Kabayel out. But it didn't happen. But yeah, Kabayel very much on the radar now. Got the win over Damien Niebuhr, and he's ready to go. So I wonder if he will get the Usyk fight. I know Queensbury, I'm sure, will be banging the drum saying here's your guy. And you can't say that he's not a backed fighter or anything like that, or that he's not popular. Go and tell all the people that packed out that arena that Agit Kabayel is not popular. He is a rock star in Germany, and there is no doubt whatsoever that Usyk versus Kabayel for the Unified World Heavyweight Championship, that would sell. Big shout out, by the way, to Lawrence Okolie. This is brilliant. He rocked up to Germany wearing a mink coat, calling out Agit Kabayel, calling out multiple heavyweights, including Moses. He's calling everyone out. The Source arrived in Germany on smoke. He means it as well. I don't know if you've seen yet the video that he's put up on his social media. So he's out there in Germany in the cold, wearing that big mink coat. Suits him, wouldn't suit me, probably wouldn't suit you or most of the viewers of this, but it suited him. And what else suited him was him just stood there with like these belts. I assume one of them was the WBC silver, but there was another one there as well. Probably the World Bridgerweight Championship. I'm not sure which one it was, but he's there holding belts saying, you know, Kabayel, I've come for you. They're calling you the boogeyman and all of this stuff. Great stuff. Great promotion. And Lawrence Okolie, before long, he's going to become a name that you can't avoid, that you can't play down his credentials anymore, because he's creating hype now as well. This is a 2-weight world champion who wants to fight. He's not ducking, he's not dodging, he is just out there looking for pure smoke. So shout out Lawrence Okolie, big fan of that. Well, the other man who wants smoke right now is Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. It looks like he's back. He's gone from not posting anything on social media for quite a while to suddenly posting multiple times a day. He seems to be having the time of his life, preparing to get back to the top of the heavyweight division. These videos that he's putting out are incredible. There was one the other day, so he's running along and he's like pulling a tree behind him, or like a massive log, and he's running along through a potato field. So there are various sort of crops just sort of falling down by the wayside as the big Gypsy King charges through. This is fantastic stuff. This takes me back to when he was coming back the first time, after all of the weight gain, after all of the depression, after all of the bad stuff, and he went out to Marbella and he was training with Billy Joe Saunders. And there are a few little videos here and there where he's like dancing, and he looked, the fella looked like a fridge. He was huge, but he kept going. The Mac is back. Remember all of those videos? Deontay Wilder, all of that. I loved all of that. And it's bringing back memories of that, because he's doing the same thing. And he's saying 2026, he's coming back for all of it. Now, he's getting a lot of criticism. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in the comments. I'm seeing people say that he can't come back and that there's no way that he can regain the heavyweight throne. Hold on just a minute. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about the same guy who came back from the very brink? The same guy who was 30 stone, drunk, depressed, rock bottom? Are we talking about that guy? Because let me tell you about that guy. That guy came back. That guy was at the lowest of all lows. And he came back. He lost all the weight. He became world heavyweight champion. Not only did he came back and he took on the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division in Deontay Wilder. And he beat him in his backyard. And he beat him not just once, not just twice, but 3 times. Yeah, I said it. Look, we all watched the first fight. We saw what happened. I know they called it a draw, but we both know, don't we? We know Fury won the first one. So yeah, he came back and he beat Wilder. If there is one man that you should not write off, it is Tyson Fury. He has proved this time and time again. He had no right to go to Vladimir Klitschko's backyard and dethrone him after 10 years of Vladimir Klitschko being on top. He had no right to come back from all of the alcohol, all of the depression, all of the drugs, all of the poor mental health to come back and reign at the very top of the heavyweight division. He is a 2-time Ring Magazine World Heavyweight Champion, by the way. 2-time. We don't really see that. And people are acting like Usyk wiped the floor with him over 2 fights. Go and watch those fights. When was the last time you saw Oleksandr Usyk look like he did in the first 6 rounds of that first fight? I'm not sure we've ever seen that. Tyson Fury was cruising that fight. He said it himself. He was finding it too easy. Then he gets caught by Usyk. And there's this whole narrative that Usyk just schooled him and smashed him up over 2 fights. Absolutely not the case. The first fight was a split decision. After that round 9, where Usyk had Fury going, had him all over the place, Tyson Fury then went on to win the 12th round on every judge's scorecard. Every single judge scored the 12th round for Tyson Fury. So it's not like Usyk just stopped him in the 9th round. No, Usyk had him hurt. Usyk had him all over the place. But it didn't put him down. We didn't see him get knocked down in that fight. We certainly didn't see him get knocked out. We actually saw Tyson Fury come back from that and win rounds. One judge had him winning the 11th round. So let's not get too caught up in this Usyk schooled Tyson Fury narrative. Didn't happen. Second fight was very, very close as well. Razor close, 2 close fights. And if Tyson Fury is telling the world that he can come back and he can become world heavyweight champion again, well, maybe we need to believe him. Alright, final thing. I've been thinking about this, and I put out a tweet yesterday. Who's the number 1 pound for pound boxer in the UK today? How do you measure it? I'm not sure, but who's the top 5? I'm going to give you what I think my top 5 is, and then let me know in the comments what you think the pound for pound top 5 is in the UK today. And I'll give you my sort of reasoning as to why I've landed on it. 5. Hamza Shiraz, unbeaten in 23 fights and about to fight for the world super middleweight title. The feeling is that he will become the world super middleweight champion. It looks like it's going to be against Diego Pacheco. I think he'll be a favourite in that fight. He's up at super middleweight now. He's not draining himself to make a horrible weight. This guy, by the way, is 6'4". So now we've seen him at super middleweight and we've seen what he can do. And what he did was go right into Edgar Berlanga's backyard and knock him out in 5 rounds. And why is that such a great win? 1, it was in the fella's backyard. 2, Berlanga hits very hard as well. It's a brave fight to take for your first fight at super middleweight. And 3, Berlanga went 12 rounds with Canelo. Hamza Shiraz sliced him, diced him, went right through him. He's my number 5. 4, Dalton Smith. Got to rate that. What he's just done against Mateus was that was a madness. And the way he won the fight as well, the scenes around it all. Again, I'm a big fan of this going into your opponent's backyard. And I know it wasn't the other fella's backyard, but the way Dalton Smith went over there as the away fighter and knocked out the guy who knocks everyone out, you got to rate it. And by the way, he's got the potential to go higher and higher in the UK pound for pound, higher and higher in the world pound for pound. He's only just got that world title. Once he starts defending it, in that division as well, so many great fighters around, I think he can go very, very far and make a lot of money, by the way. But massive ratings for going away from home and knocking out a monster. Essentially, he fought the other guy's fight and he won the other guy's fight. So big, big ratings from me. He is my number 4. 3, Fabio Wardley. This story, this Fabio Wardley story, I could not tire of telling you it. This guy is remarkable. 10 years ago, recruitment consultant, sending emails. Now, world heavyweight champion, knocking people out. Do I need to say more? And it's also, who is he knocking out? It's not just any old fellas he's knocking out. He just knocked out Joseph Parker. Before that, knocked out Justice Hooney. Hooney was undefeated. Hooney was winning that fight. Fabio Wardley, dramatic come-from-behind knockout win over an unbeaten fighter. Brilliant. And the Parker win, that's the legitimate number 2 heavyweight in the world. Well, he was. And then he ran into Fabio Wardley, and he ran into Fabio Wardley's heavy, heavy fists. So therefore, Fabio Wardley, as world heavyweight champion, makes it to number 3 on my pound-for-pound UK list. 2, Anthony the Apache Cacace. And by the way, he could be number 1 as well. For me, this is a bit of a toss-up between him and who I choose as number 1. He is right up there. The form that he is in at the moment is absolutely incredible. He defeated the undefeated Joe Cordina to pick up the IBF world title. He then beat Josh Warrington. He then beat Lee Wood. He's no longer the IBF champion because he vacated. But now he gets the chance to become a 2-time world super featherweight champion because he takes on Jazza Dickens in March in Dublin. He is in the form of his life and he is the only ever world super featherweight champion from the island of Ireland. Anto Cacace is my number 2. Number 1. Nick the Wrecking Bull. We've got a few male world champions in the UK, but the only one who has actually defended his world title so far is Nick Bull. In fact, he has successfully defended his world title 3 times, and the fight just before he became the WBA World Featherweight Champion by beating Ray Ford, he had a fight, of course, with Ray Vargas. That fight was called a draw, but everyone watching this video, and me, well, we all know that Nick Bull won that fight. So really, he should be a unified world featherweight champion. He's just the WBA at the moment, but the fact that he beat Ray Ford to get that in an epic win on the 5 versus 5, the fact that he's now defended it against TJ Dehenny, he's defended it against Ronnie Rios, and he's defended it against Sam Goodman, and now has a defence lined up against former WBC world featherweight champion Brandon Figueroa. This is high-level, elite boxing. And that is why right now in the UK, my number 1 pound for pound is Nick Bull. Okay, cool. I think that's me. Covered a few bits there. I went to the Queensbury office today. Had a little sit down with the gaffer, with Frank. Hopefully that interview gets released very soon by Queensbury. There's a few little bits in there that hopefully, you know, gets a few people talking. There's a few interesting fights he has in mind. But yeah, let's see, keep an eye out for that on the Queensbury YouTube. Meanwhile, keep an eye out for me as well, right here on this channel. Tell all your mates. Go and tell your mates. Do you know what? I saw my cousin the other night. My cousin is a big boxing fan. And he said, oh, I saw you do an interview on Ade's YouTube channel, Ade Oladipo. I was like, okay, yeah, good. He was like, yeah, no, I like all of his stuff. I watch all of his stuff. I was like, okay, Ade's great. Do you subscribe to my YouTube channel? And he said he didn't know I had one. So I have got one. Thanks, Agit. But yeah, thanks for watching. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. Tell a friend to also tell their friend that this is where it's all happening. See you next time.